Next, I'd like to share with you my business philosophy and how it differs from most Amazon sellers. Now, I not only do I want to teach you the basics of how to sell books on Amazon, I want to take it a few steps further. I want you to think bigger than just selling physical products on Amazon, shipping the book, finding the books, shipping them in, helping them sell, etc., etc. So another book I'd highly recommend is Robert Kiyosaki's book, Cashflow Quadrants. He's also the guy that wrote the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad. If you haven't read either of those books, again, I'd highly recommend that you do. Now, one of the benefits to sourcing books is that you have a high volume of books coming through your office, through your home. You're going to be able to find some gems like these two that could really revolutionize your business and your life. But in Cashflow Quadrants, he says that people fall into one of four different categories. People usually gravitate to one of these categories, but regardless, all money that you earn comes from one of these categories. And the first one that most people are familiar with is the E quadrant. That's the upper left-hand corner, and E stands for employee. Ultimately, employees are people that have a job. Now, the core values of somebody who favors the E quadrant are somebody who's looking for safety and security. And so maybe you are that person. Definitely the allure in our culture is there. In fact, we're taught from a very young age in the public school system that the best thing for you, the most successful thing that you can do for your life is to get through school, get your degree, go to college, get a degree, then find a nice, stable, good-paying, white-collar job that's safe, that has some excellent benefits, work there for 25 years or more, and then retire. I mean, that's like the goal, right? That's like the mission of most people in our culture, it seems. And again, what makes employees is that core value for security. Now, the quadrant in the bottom left-hand corner is the S quadrant. That's for self-employed. So instead of you working for somebody else's company, the self-employed person owns their own job. Now, the core values of somebody who's self-employed is if you want a job done, you got to do it yourself. So they're very Lone Ranger-ish. I know a lot of self-employed Amazon sellers. In fact, most Amazon sellers are self-employed. And you can tell because if you just ask them about the day-to-day process of their business, they're very much convinced that they need to do it all themselves. They kind of feel like they're the Lone Ranger in their business. I mean, in some regards, some people would say that a self-employed person is better positioned than somebody as an employee because they don't have they rule their own domain, but ultimately they own their own job. And without their direct involvement in the business, without putting the hours in, they won't make any money. So their profitability, again, is tied to their direct activity, if that makes sense, hopefully. On the upper right-hand corner is the B quadrant. That stands for business owner. So again, sort of like the self-employed person, but the business owner, not only does he or she own the company, but it's a system. And so instead of the self-employed doing all the work, the person doing all the work, the business owner has a system in place and hires people to work for them. A little different. The core value of a B quadrant person, a business person, is I'm looking for a good system, a good network of the smartest people I know to help me run my business. So again, it's about assembling a team. It's about having the smartest people that you know working for you. So, and understanding that with that type of synergy, everybody's going to be more successful. The business is going to be more successful, and you're going to avoid burnout, which is usually, I think, the number one reason why most businesses fail within the first 3 years. Again, it's a strength-based team approach to business. And then finally, the bottom right-hand corner is investor. So instead of you working, instead of you running a system, instead of you hiring and managing people, or instead of you doing it all yourself, or instead of you working for somebody else's company, you take the money that you've already earned, you invest it, and you're putting that money to work for you. Core values of the I quadrant individual is I want my money to work for me, not me to work for my money. Now, odds are if you could be in multiple categories. I mean, if you're an employee and you have some money invested in the stock market or some type of an investment, you could be making some residual or passive income off that. Your money is working for you. You're not working for your money. Same with the self-employed and the business owner as well. But the quadrant that I want you to focus on throughout this course is the B quadrant. I'm really hoping that by the end of the course, you'll have the motivation to, instead of doing all the work yourself and making great money. I mean, I know booksellers who do it all themselves. They're in the S quadrant. It's them and maybe their spouse occasionally. They do like 99% of the work. They're sourcing the books, they're listing the books, and they're selling them, and they make 6 figures. I mean, they're making good money. And so if that's your goal, that's fine. This course is going to be great at positioning you for success in the S business, in the S quadrant. But for the other people out there that don't want to do it all themselves, that would like to scale up and grow their business beyond what they can manage, beyond what their time can accomplish, then I'd recommend you considering the B quadrant. So in this course, I'm going to share with you my business system, the system that I put in place, the criteria that I use, how I compensate my workers, my employees, my independent contractors, so that you too can, if you'd like, adopt that system and create a B quadrant business for yourself. What I want this course to do is to help you build your own bus-proof business. And I'll define what a bus-proof business is. Let's say you're crossing the street and you get hit by a bus and you have to go to the hospital. If you have a bus-proof business in place, if you have a well-oiled B quadrant business running for you, then not only is your business going to continue operating without you, but it should be growing in profitability as well. So essentially, a bus-proof business is a business that doesn't require your direct involvement for it to succeed. Now, if you had an S quadrant business, if you were self-employed and you got hit by a bus or you got sick or something horrible happened to you, you're going to see an immediate dip in production and profitability because your hours are indispensable to the success of your company. And so I want to help you build a business that's bus-proof. I want to help you build a business that's bigger than you and more profitable than you could ever attain on your own. So what does that look like? Well, in this course, I'm going to encourage you to hire book sourcers, so people that go out and source and find the profitable inventory for you. And I'm going to give you all the training necessary for that. So you're going to have a training manual not only to teach you how to source profitable books, but you're also going to have that manual which you can use to train in future employees or independent contractors. Now, that can be people outside your family. That can be strangers. You can post advertisements on Craigslist or whatever, or it could be people within your family. But I'm going to encourage you to set up your bus-proof business by hiring sourcers and hiring listers. So again, taking it a step further, not only do you want to have people working for you finding books to sell on Amazon, you also want to have some people that are going to be listing those books and then shipping them off to Amazon. And then finally, I would just encourage you, if you want a true bus-proof business, to find and hire a book sales manager. So that's somebody who oversees the whole operation. And then what essentially you're doing is you are taking a big step out of the operation of your business, and it's being allowed to operate on its own with managerial supervision. So ultimately what this means for you is that you will have the opportunity to have the lifestyle and financial freedom that you truly crave. And ultimately that's the goal. What means more to me than money, my why for doing this and for encouraging you to start a business like this, is not because I want to make a ton of money and get filthy rich. It's because I want to be able to maximize my time at home with my family. So my family is my why. And so you figure out your why, and this is the type of business model that is going to be able to give you the freedom to pursue that, to maximize your time doing that. So again, for me, it's family. For you, maybe it's traveling the world and seeing different things. If you have a business that's perpetuating itself, that you're just required to check in with every once in a while to make sure things are going and operating smoothly, that's going to open up your time to be able to do what you want to do in your life. Maybe you want to donate your time to a nonprofit. Maybe there's a ministry at your church that you'd like to put full-time hours into. Well, having a bus-proof business gives you the freedom to do that, because you're not required to put in all the hours to make the business run, because you put qualified people, individuals, into those positions to run it for you. Or maybe what you want to do is you want to set up a bus-proof business here, selling used books on Amazon, and then you want to open up another stream of income. Maybe work on another business. Ideally, my model for business philosophy would be to set up a bus-proof business here, then set up a bus-proof business there. Maybe you go into retail arbitrage. You're buying products off the retail shelves, and you want to setting up a bus-proof retail arbitrage business. And then maybe you want to go into private label. And again, you do it all. Doing the work yourself. You're laying a foundation, but then you assemble a team to manage it. If that's what you want to do, that's fine. But really, the freedom that a bus-proof business can offer you is absolutely incredible. And the opportunity and the profitability and the scalability of selling used books on Amazon gives you that opportunity. And then finally, the financial freedom. And I know I already alluded to this quite a bit, but if you don't have to worry about money, if you don't have to worry about putting the hours in to earn the dollars, that means you can step out of your business whenever you want. And the beauty of it is you have the financial freedom to not be burdened and stressed out by an income. And you can just watch from a distance your business grow without your direct involvement. It's such an amazingly free experience. So how's it all going to work? Well, again, as I discussed earlier, I'm going to share with you some Amazon 101 selling principles. So if you've never sold on Amazon before, I'm going to walk you through all the basic steps. I mean, literally everything you need to know. I'm going to give you some basic philosophy. I'm going to give you some basic direction about what the Amazon platform is like and the potential that's there. And then I'm going to walk you through all the steps. I'm going to give you a list of basically all the tools that we use to source books. And then I'm going to give you the other options too, because I know there's lots of options out there, and you don't have to pick the ones that we picked. But then I'm going to immediately start encouraging you to start outsourcing. I'm going to immediately start encouraging you to lay the principles of a good, solid, bust-proof business, because the tendency is for self-employed individuals is that they begin to romanticize the process. They fall in love with the sourcing and the process in which they list books and how they manage the whole operation. And then years down the road, when you're trying to encourage them to outsource, they can't because they've grown connected to the process. And I don't want that for you. Even if you go through this course and you decide you want to do it all yourself, which is just totally fine. If that makes you happy, excellent, then do it. I just want you to at least have the advantage of having that as an option. And so I lay the framework for that in this entire course. And then this course will provide you guidance along the way. I mean, how I envision this happening is you go through this course, but then you'll be able to come back and watch the videos and interact with them and learn from them as you continue to grow and build and scale your book selling business. So again, this is an exciting business opportunity for you. I'm super excited. I'm just envisioning all of you who are thinking about starting an Amazon selling business, or maybe getting into books, or maybe getting into books at a more serious level. I'm just excited because I know the potential's there to make great money, and the potential's there to give you that financial and lifestyle freedom that I know, if you're anything like me, you want.